Hey, what is up guys? Today I want to talk about a recent demo I played called The Joy of Creation. Now this game is a officially backed game by Scott Cawthon as part of the Fazbear Fanverse initiative, so it's definitely using a lot of characters from Five Nights at Freddy's. It's pretty much a fan-made game for the Five Nights at Freddy's universe or the Five Nights at Freddy's creations. I'm not necessarily sure how all that works. I just know that once a game is backed and it's part of this initiative, it's part of like the overarching Five Nights at Freddy's IP. So it's pretty cool. But anyways, enough of that. If you're a FNAF fan like myself, you're definitely in for a treat, and it's very reminiscent of the first Five Nights at Freddy's. We've all been there when we first played Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's very reminiscent of that. Let me start off by saying that the Joy of Creation was extremely hard, but it was also very fun. I think it took me complete playtime about an hour and a half. It's really insane just how much you had to like learn on your own. I did think, there was moments in the game where I was just super upset that I was so close to winning. I don't like necessarily in certain situations how you don't really learn how to play the game. You kind of have to figure it out as you go. There was no real walkthrough to the game necessarily, but other than that, it was relatively normal to comprehend as you go by. Now, in each day that you complete, or each time you die, the computer talks to you and it tells you, some tips for the next time that you do play. I kind of find it redundant due to the fact that before you die, you kind of already figured that out and you kind of are learning things before the game actually tells you. At least in my situation, that's how I learned after many trial and errors. And I do think that I learned before the game told me what to do specifically. But after many times trying this game over and over again, I finally managed to beat it, and it felt like a huge victory considering how hard I struggled throughout the whole game, and it was a very good sense of accomplishment. It was incredible. This is Five Nights at Freddy's with the Unreal Engine 5, but not the Five Nights at Freddy's that you're thinking of a pizzeria, but more of like a video game developer in his own house, and all the animatronics are messing with him in his head, things like that. It's very reminiscent of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, for sure. Now, I do like how it's a little bit of a mix of the classic FNAF elements with like a little bit of walking around, free roam. So it's a good twist. I think it's brilliant. You're not just sitting in one spot checking the cameras, you're actively moving around, trying to grab the fuses. There's a lot of stuff that's thrown in there that makes it kind of difficult, but once you get it after multiple times of dying, like me, you start to get into the rhythm of it, and you start to, feel yourself a little better, but you will die a couple times. At least I did. I don't know, maybe if you're watching this, you're super mega badass and you're gonna beat it in one try, or you have beat it in one try. Now, I will give you guys some quick little tips, just something that helped me out. I do recommend whenever you do have some downtime and you kind of feel like you're not doing anything, look for a fuse and just hold it in your hand. You are able to hold it in your hand, and it makes it a little bit faster whenever because there is some times when you feel like you're not doing anything or you're not looking at it, especially in the beginning couple of hours, because you have to survive 12 hours from midnight to noon, I believe is what it was, and you have to survive that whole time. Another quick little tip, I was too stupid to figure out where the outside camera was. I thought it was always behind the character's sitting area, so every time I would see the cameras and I would see Freddy in the left or right side, I would turn around and try to click on that window, but that window was just merely not working. So I ended up figuring out that eventually it was the mirror to the right, which would make sense because all the monitors are placed exactly where you need to look and where you need to go. The left one for the left door, the front one for the front door, and then the one on the right for literally to the right of you, the right window. Another thing, I learned this as I was playing, but later this was corroborated in the community tab, which I will talk about later, that once Chica starts coming from the roof, or from the roof of the building, you have to look for her cupcakes and you have to flash them with the flashlight. Eventually, when you do that, I think the first time it's 3, then it goes to 4, then it goes to 5. I never reached 5. I just got up to 4 cupcakes that you have to find, but they are anywhere in the cabinets or the dressers that are interactable. And also, please make sure to always look out for Foxy once he starts coming out, because he has like a faster timer than the other animatronics, and he will come into the room before anything else happens. There was a little bit of lore sprinkled in the beginning of the game and then after the game nothing really is explained. There's kind of a baseline of you're a creator of a game development company or a game, and these are like your nightmares that are haunting you in your head. I don't like if you're a freaking schizo patient or something like that. But I do think that once the game does come out, the lore will be expanded, of course, and I think it'll be well developed. And hopefully plenty of little Easter eggs here and there for references for the fans to discover. Because as someone who enjoys, delving into video game lore, I'm really excited to see what this kind of game will reveal or create in its own world. Now, I did mention earlier that the visuals are from Unreal Engine 5, so the game's going to look amazing. The game does look amazing, and it's very impressive for it being like a fan game. I mean, Unreal Engine 5 is relatively new. A lot of people are starting to use it now, so get used to it and seeing it in your future games. But in FNAF, it's just super cool to see it. It's kind of making it a little bit more realistic, as if the first FNAF game was real, essentially. So another aspect that I've never really been a part of in any game that I really play is the community. I think the community was really helpful in this game. I didn't know where else to look, so I decided to look in the community tab on Steam, and that's where I found a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of people complaining about stuff that I was complaining about, a lot of issues that I got, a lot of people were getting as well. So definitely recommend it if you guys want to take a look at it. There's a lot of helpful posts. All those people are incredible and very helpful as well. I think the fan base for FNAF is super passionate, clearly. Seeing that passion being reflected in a game like The Joy of Creation is really wonderful. I do think that the developers are listening to the community and incorporating little elements that the fans do love, with their own creative spin, of course. But just to wrap things up, guys, The Joy of Creation, I highly recommend it. It's a must-play on my book for any FNAF fan as well. It's very challenging. I would say also very thrilling and, heart-pounding. And it's packed with just enough gameplay to make you want the full game as soon as possible. So if you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend you just giving it a try. It's a free demo out on Steam. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you enjoyed this little talk review about The Joy of Creation, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more of my gaming content. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of The Joy of Creation, if you've played it, if you are going to play it. I'd love to hear your experiences and any theories you might have about the lore. Until next time, stay safe and have a good one.